Good morning. Since we started working with fourth grade fractions, I need to add another strategy to the list of checking to see if which fraction would be greater to compare two fractions. So you remember that we had some strategies last week about comparing fractions when the numerators were the same, and that would be one of these. When the numerators are both 1, check the denominators. So if you have 1 out of 2 and 1 out of 3, it's easy to see that one piece out of 2 pieces would be more than if you had one piece and it was cut into 3 pieces. Okay, so today's strategy for fourth grade is just like this, only different. So the numerators might not be both 1, but the numerators might both be the same. And if the numerators are the same, even if it isn't 1, then you would check the denominators again. So is it more to have 3 pieces out of 4, or is it more to have 3 pieces out of 12? Remember, it's tricky when you think about the number 12, it seems so big. But actually, when I had that candy bar cut into 12 equal pieces, do you remember how tiny and unsatisfactory those pieces were? They were just little bits. So if you had 3 out of those 12 pieces, it would be way smaller than if you had cut the candy bar in 4 and had 3 out of 4. So that's the strategy that's new for fourth grade fractions, and we're going to practice that right now. So again, the numerators aren't both 1, but they are both the same. Each fraction has a numerator of 2. So we could do a quick sketch and we would have 2 rectangles about the same size. Remember, it's a sketch, not to be perfect. And now I've made 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3, and in this one I will make 8 pieces, and then I'm going to, in each of these, color 2, because it's 2 out of 3 and 2 out of 8. I think you can see where this is going already. So the thing is that when you cut something into thirds, the pieces stay quite large. So if you have 2 of them, you have a lot. But when you cut something into eighths, the pieces, they start to get really small. And so if you have 2 of them, you don't get very much. So we would say that 2/3 is more than 2/8. So if the numerators are the same, check the denominators. If the denominator is really big, that means the piece is really small. Kind of opposite of what many people think. Here's another example. In this case, I decided to make a sketch with a circle. So again, this is eighths. Oh, sorry. First, they both have the same numerator of 3. 3 out of 8 and 3 out of 4. You might already intuitively know the answer to this because you've been thinking about the strategy. Let's divide this into 8 equal pieces as best we can, knowing that it's a sketch and that they aren't perfect, and they should be if they're going to be eighths. But it's a sketch. Okay, so let's color 3 out of 8 here. And let's color 3 out of 4 here. Fairly obvious. If you cut something into eighths, the pieces are quite small, and 3 would not be very many, wouldn't be very much. And if you cut something into fourths and you have 3 of them, the pieces are twice as big as these. So this 3/8 would be less than, 3/8 is less than 3/4. That's right. So the IXL practice today is in the fourth grade, and it's comparing fractions that have many different strategy uses. For example, if they both have the same denominator, so if it's 3/8 and 5/8, you know 5/8 is more than 3/8 because they're both the same size pieces. And if it's equal to a half, or close to a whole, or close to 0, that strategy. And then this new one will be really helpful for some of the fourth grade fractions. Remember that IXL has teaching parts at the top of the page, and it also has teaching parts. If you get one wrong, you can say, show me how to do it. And I would be happy to also talk to you if you write to me. All right, happy fractioning.